Shabbat Shalom. I decided this morning I wanted to ask David what exactly was the verse that finished off the Torah for him, and wanted to use that as inspiration for giving a little bit of a drasha. And the last few verses here, from page 244, we get impalement and all of its, glory and execution and all kinds of nastiness and, decapitation. It's a great piece for inspiration. Yet, and I'm on 245, the very last verse of this week's parsha, yet the chief cupbearer did not think of Joseph. He forgot Joseph. Torah, I think about as an endeavor that has to do with memory. Why do we read Torah on Shabbat? Why do we chant it aloud? Why is that what we do with it? Does anybody know? Where does that come from? Ezra. Thank you. Say more. No, you want me to say more. All right, fine. So, but that was the answer I was looking for. Thank you, Hamora Karen. Ezra. What about Ezra? Well, before Ezra, we get the destruction of the first temple by Rishon. And the people get exiled. This is the Babylonians that schmeiss the whole thing, and they shove them eastward into what's today Iran, Persia, places like that. That's where we get the rise of this diasporic community. And one of the immediate responses to that is Ezra, who says, okay, if we're not in our land, and we're not in our temple, we're in this place of desolation, how do we be Jewish? How do we remain who we are? How do we hold on to that? And this is the place from whence we get that imperative to read Torah. It goes back to the first destruction of the temple, or the destruction of the first temple, rather, in exile. Ezra's saying, you know what we'll do? We'll read the Torah, we'll read it on Shabbats, and we'll read it on market days. Hence the reading of, on what days, friends?
Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday, that's right. For those of you who don't go to morning minyan, that may not have rolled off the tip of your tongue, and so you're invited to morning minyan. But this was Ezra's way of keeping alive who we were as Jews, in a place of utter desolation, of the loss of all of these things that seem to constitute us, that make us who we are, that put us in relation with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Blessed Holy One. Ezra says, actually, we have another device that can do all of that, and that's the Torah. And you don't need to read about it, you don't need to say brilliant things, you don't need to expound upon it, whatever, any kind of erudition about it. You need to read it aloud. You need to share it with the people. You need to keep those words of it living and breathing. You do that, we'll get by without the great temple, without the sacrificial system, without all this stuff. Somehow, we as a people remain who we are. And so I want to suggest in a deeply foundational, constitutive manner, reading the Torah aloud makes us who we are as Jews. It keeps us who we are as Jews. There's a big reason that this whole thing around bar or bat mitzvah, if you're going to step up into Jewish community and claim that status as being a son or daughter of the commandments, how do you demonstrate that? What is the moment, the sort of big achievement, the central climactic moment in becoming bar bat mitzvah? Aliyah, getting called up to read the words of Torah. Because it's not just the stories and the laws and the relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. It is the fact that Torah has kept us a Jewish people together over the millennia and the centuries. And so, this piece here. Yet, and I'm reading now Bereshit, Genesis chapter 40, verse 23. The chief cupbearer did not think of Joseph. He forgot him. forgot about him. We read Torah because we don't forget. We read Torah in order not to forget. We read Torah in order to be connected with all of those generations who came before us, with those aspirations that they held, who it is that they wanted to be as a Jewish people, where they might have wanted to be, how it is that they wanted to be connected to one another with holiness. And we read Torah to pass it down to generations to come, to those Jews we have not yet even met, whose Torah we will not even know, whose interpretations and drashot and exegesis would blow our minds, just the very possibility of it. But alas, they're going to be born, I don't know, 100 years from now, 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now. Maybe it's weird to talk in those terms, but as a Jewish person, it doesn't feel very strange to me, because I think about the Jewish thinkers and those darshanim and those folks who read words of Torah from a century ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. It's not inaccessible. So we keep reading Torah. We have Gedolim amongst us, giants who are capable of reading wide swaths of Torah and who have done just that, who have chanted the entire thing. And I looked this up on Google, 79,000 words, 304,000 letters of Torah. And it's not just a cool thing for your bucket list or for your family. It's a cool thing for us as Am Yisrael, as a Jewish people. It's a cool thing for us who understand what it means to chant Torah aloud on a Shabbat, that it's something that makes us who we are, that we would not be here in this place if it weren't for the very act of reading those words aloud. It's a cool thing. And to have one from our own community, a son of our own religious school and training and upbringing here at Congregation Beth Shalom, who chants the entire Torah for us. It is an accomplishment. It's cool. It's amazing. It's a lot of those things. But the word that comes to mind is that it is a mechaya. It gives life. It is life-sustaining in the way that Torah has been for us as a Jewish people over the generations. It gives us life to see it, to be near it, to be around it, to get to hang out for that as an accomplishment. And it gives life to the generations to come, who will be stepping up and reading Torah in January 4th. Or I don't know, 100 years from now, or 500 years from now, or 1,000 years from now. It gives us life. It sustains us and nourishes us and brings us forward. It's very hard to feel pessimistic about the Jewish people when you have Gedolim, such as these, who can bring all of the words of Torah to life in a way that Ezra knew somehow was going to carry us through this moment and beyond. Yasher koach, David. And as it is said, chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek, from strength to strength. And so may you be strengthened for your words of Torah that you have shared over the past 30 years, and you will continue to share.
We can't wait till the second round.
Exactly. In the years to come. Yasher koach. Shabbat shalom, friends.